got Jeffrey Denner with me. Denner and Pellegrino is the law firm. Jeffrey Denner is the legal genius behind that firm, and I say that with all due respect to Brad Bailey. I kid Brad, of course, Jeffrey, you know that. We're just talking about Whitey Bulger. Just quickly on that before we get to Mark Kerrigan. Do you think Whitey Bulger is ever going to take the stand?
You know, it's a tough one. I would be shocked if he ever took the stand.
Every legal mind I know says they would be shocked, and yet J.W. Carney tells us he's going to take the stand.
J.W. Carney is a very smart guy, so...
We will see, and we will talk more about that as that draws near. In the meantime, let's talk about Mark Kerrigan for a second, because this is fascinating to me. I've never heard of a guy 2 days, 3 days after getting out of prison, all you got to do is go to alcohol and anger management classes for 6 months. You're good to go, and he says, no, put me back in prison. Is this as shocking to you as it is to me?
You know, it really isn't. This is a much more common event than you think. Now, I don't know Mark Kerrigan, I don't know his case, but there's an awful lot of people who are in prison and want to wrap up their time ultimately because it's a lot easier to play cards and have talks all day and watch television sometimes than it is to really do these conditions that are the precondition to getting out, going to anger management and drug testing.
We have like Shawshank Redemption. The guy did 30 years. He's scared of the real world when he gets out. Mark Kerrigan's only been in for a couple years.
Yeah. Well, perhaps he thinks, and again, I don't know him, perhaps he thinks he's going to fail the drug test. Perhaps he feels he's got problems that really can't be resolved. And if he gets out, he's going to be violated, will be thrown back in, and maybe he would have to do more time.
What is the judge option in this case? Can he say, no, you're going out on probation?
I don't think he has an absolute right to go back to jail. I mean, the House Correction authorities, the parole people have taken a look at this and they've decided they're letting him out. He doesn't necessarily have a right to go back. Of course, I'm sure the judge will take into consideration he wants to go back. Of course, if he wants to get himself sent back, he can do that pretty easily.
Right, he can violate probation within 30 seconds if he wants. He can pull out a beer right there, right?
In a heartbeat. So
what choice does the judge have?
As a practical matter, he has none. As a theoretical matter, he has a couple. But if somebody wants to go back to jail, better to put him back in jail than make him go out and commit some new violation or crime.
Well, that leads to my next question, which is 6 months from now. Let's say he's sent back and he does his 6 months. The doors have to open, and he has to walk out of them, right?
At that point, he walks out, but as I understand it, and I haven't studied his sentence, he got 2.5 years in the House Correction. I don't think he's gone on and after probation, so when that sentence is wrapped up and he's served the whole thing, no one's got any power over him. They can't make him get anger management, go to psychotherapeutic counseling, get drug testing all the time. He's kind of on his own to screw up.
But that's scary because we know now that he would, this decision says to me by him, I would rather be in prison than not. And now we're saying you're going to just walk out and we'll hold our breath and keep our fingers crossed.
Given his new choices and his new choice, that is a bit scary. If going in you think someone's like that, then you fashion a sentence if you're the court where someone gets some time in, but then a longer on and after probation sentence so you maintain control over the guy. That didn't happen here.
Do you expect the judge to say, okay, you're in and we'll see you in 6 months today?
At the risk of saying yes and having it not happen, I suspect if not today, at some point he's going to get himself back in pretty quickly.
Quickly, I just got a second left, and I know one of the cases that you're working on, so I don't know how much you can comment on, but I got to ask you about it. Tim Cahill set up a legal defense fund I read about today.
Yes, he did. That is a true and try way for people to raise money when they still are. He's a campaign finance person. He's had a campaign, he still has a campaign committee, and this is what he has to do to raise money.
We know he's got financial issues, has had them. There's been issues with the campaign money, et cetera, et cetera. And this is going to be, this could be a costly defense. No, not because your rates are high, but because this is a very interesting trial.
It could be a costly defense for a lot of reasons. Most of the kind of experts and consultants we need. And it's a very worthy matter that a lot of people are behind. The outcrying of support already, just when people are realizing that he's looking for some help in a legal defense fund, has been really gratifying.
We didn't even get to talk Clark Rockefeller. You're involved in that one too. You got your hands in all the big cases right now.
We got our hands full.
Jeffrey, we'll see you again soon, I have a feeling.
It's a pleasure.